There you go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our April 19th Public Safety Committee meeting. The first item I'd like to discuss today would be the Warren County Office of Emergency Services. We do have a quorum here today. We have an action agenda with two. First, I guess, let me back up. Motion to approve the previous committee meetings, minutes. Motion put forward by Supervisor Shepler. Is there a second? Seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion or comments around the minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we do have two action agendas as a result of a bid that was put out through the Office of Emergency Services. Item 1 is a resolution requesting to award a bid and establish a new contract with Contingency Management Consulting Group, LLC, for the provisions of assistance in emergency planning, training, and exercise. In your packets, you should have had included in there the bid tabulation sheets. Is there a motion to bring this resolution, this request to the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Motion put forward by Supervisor Frazier. Is there a second?
Second.
Supervisor Shepler. Any discussions around Resolution 1 to award this bid for planning and training? If there's not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2 is a resolution request to award a bid and establish a new contract with Debris Tech LLC for the provisions of assistance in emergency response, debris monitoring services, cost recovery. Again, in your in your packets that were sent out, should have a copy of the bid tabulation sheets. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor? Mr. Supervisor McGowan.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Bramer. Any questions or discussions around this resolution? If not, I'll ask that question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is there isn't any information for discussion or review. I don't have any referrals or pending items. At this time, I'd like to open up the privilege of the floor and public comment. Is there any discussion or any issues that the public or my colleagues here on the board would like to discuss today? Supervisor Gowan?
Yes, I would just like to thank Anne Marie. This looked like it was quite a process to bid out there, with a lot of different companies, but a lot of different areas to cover. So thank you. It looks as almost as difficult as what our sheriff had to go through with his plan. So thank you. Since you're both here, thank you both.
Any other comments? Supervisor?
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to ask, is Ms. Mason had any updates for us, anything she wanted to come and tell us the committee about? If that's okay with you, Chairman.
Oh yeah, by the way, is that okay?
All right, so not too many updates for us. We did spend a lot of time looking at a lot of these proposals for the bids. So with that kind of behind us, that's a good thing we can move forward on at some point. We did recently have a meeting with the Hazmat Consortium, which consists of 7 counties in the northern part of the state. So we are working together. Hopefully we'll be planning a functional exercise with the consortium this year with some of the guidelines for COVID relaxing a bit. So that'll be nice to kind of get back to doing that as well. And I'm still receiving some resumes for our position for the Emergency Services Coordinator at this point.
Thank you.
Supervisor Gurley?
Yeah, what type of things do Debris Tech do?
So Debris Tech is mostly a removal company for any type of hazardous materials that might come from a natural disaster or a man-made type disaster. They also would help with any recovery plans, which we have already. So. They do debris monitoring. So if there was a need to have their services, they have an automated database where the information would be kept. And we have 24/7 access to any of their material that they have on their database. So if we needed to track anything for reimbursement through FEMA based on whatever the disaster type was, that's what their function would be.
Have we ever had to use a company like this?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Mr. Lehman, is there anybody in the public out there that would comment?
There is no comment on YouTube as of now.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on with the next agenda, which is the sheriff's agenda. And,
Oh, stepped in the hallway.
okay, let me get the documents here. Okay,
You're up, Sheriff. Yep.
yes. Okay, the first item on the agenda, though, I'd like to ask for approval of the committee meeting minutes.
Oh, Mr. Donovan, you already did that at the beginning.
Pardon me?
You already did that at the beginning. You're all set.
Oh, we did that for,
For yep, it's counts. You only need one motion.
okay, all right. Okay, resolution, we, under the action agenda, new business. We have, item 1 is to enter an agreement with the Great Escape Theme Park for reimbursements of dedicated on-site police services. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor? Mr. McGowan, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. Any questions or discussions, please? If not, is there a motion to approve this resolution? Oh, you already did that.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I keep getting
You're good.
Opposed?
opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2. It's to enter an agreement with the Village of Lake George for reimbursements dedicated to seasonal policing services. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Frazier. Is there a second? Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3, to enter an agreement with Chicks Marina for routine services and emergency repairs to the Sheriff's Office patrol vessels. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor?
So moved.
Supervisor Shepler, seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion? Supervisor McGowan?
Yes, to the sheriff, obviously this went out to bid.
We sent it out to 3 different marinas. The Chicks was the only one that responded to us.
Really?
Yes.
So, I was just thinking a little further up the lake, but still a beautiful spot.
They provide us good service, and year after year, their pricing's been consistent. We appreciate their business.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan. I have a question for the sheriff. It says that in this contract, it's not to exceed $8,595. Does that include the winterization, or is that an additional cost?
That's everything that's not an emergency maintenance item. If there was something that was outside the seasonal opening and closing of a vessel, that would be at the rate of $110 per hour.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other questions for the sheriff on this item? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to enter an intermunicipal agreement with the town of Scroon and Essex County Sheriff's Office to provide marine law enforcement services on Scroon Lake. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Frazier. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Shepler. Any discussion, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead, Craig.
I'm sorry. This is the first year that we're with Essex County doing this?
No, it's a new agreement because it did not have an opportunity for renewal. So it's the same agreement that we've had year after year, but essentially we're asking for a new contract.
Oh, it's okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a renewal agreement, intermunicipal agreement with the town of Horicon to provide marine law enforcement services on Scroon Lake. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor?
So moved.
Is there a
Make
second?
the second.
Motion carries. Okay, any discussion? Mr. McGowan?
Yes, Sheriff, we're not spreading our Marine Sheriff Patrol too thin, are we? These are the mobile units, correct?
Much of our Marine force is part-time. They're retirees, and they supplement our full-time police forces. So no, we have 4 members, full-time members of patrol who do Marine service, but only when staffing allows.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I just, it's a great program, and like I said, I just don't want to hurt you guys, but what a nice summer job.
We're fortunate that we have, we're fortunate to have retirees that want to come back and do this work. You'd think that it's, an easy assignment, but they're out in adverse weather, and when people are in crisis on a vessel, it's a challenging job.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item agenda, item 6 is to rescind resolution number 87 of 2021 that allowed for an agreement between the Warren County Sheriff's Office and MCI Communication Services for internet fiber services. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor? Supervisor Shepler, seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Discussion.
Why are we rescinding it?
I requested a resolution last month with the assumption that we needed it to complete payment for these services. We learned through, I think it was purchasing, that it's a state contract vendor, so the resolution's not necessary. Now, in order to pay them, we need to rescind that resolution. That was an error on my part.
Don't you worry. I mean, it's not easy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 7 is to create and fill a new part-time patrol officer position at an hourly rate of $20 and change to process and submit civil fingerprints to the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services for Warren County pistol permit applicants. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor? Supervisor McGowan, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. Any discussion?
The only
Go ahead.
The only
McGowan.
Sheriff, thanks for, I know we've talked about that, and after reading in the paper the number of permits in Warren County alone going through, but it can work beyond pistol. I mean, I know companies, a lot of companies now are asking for fingerprints and stuff like that. So, it's just not for pistols. It's anybody that might need to be fingerprinted.
Right now, we're going to crawl before we walk and then run. The way we're proposing is just to take care of pistol permit applicants first, see how it goes. And if the need is there, we'll open it up a little bit more. But based upon the reluctance and the uncertainties, we figured this would be the best way for us to get started.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Supervisor Beatty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So where do they currently get their fingerprints if we're creating a new job to take these fingerprints? Sheriff, what's the process currently?
There's a private vendor that contracts with the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services statewide. There's a kiosk currently in Staples in Queensbury. When that kiosk is down, they'll travel to Wilton or to Ticonderoga. In the past, they've gone to motel rooms, conference rooms at the Ramada Inn. It's really an inconsistent venue and service. This is something that, again, we're proposing because we want to provide a safe, consistent location for our residents to come and receive their fingerprints.
Okay, because I've never heard of anybody complaining to me about not being able to get their fingerprints done. But maybe that's happened. I don't know. I've never had anybody complain to me about that. And adding a new position, even though it's part-time to start off, is concerning to me. So that's why I asked you. Okay, thanks.
Mr. McGowan.
There is a fee, correct?
There is a fee. So for the pistol permits alone, if you look at it, we get around $400 a year. That's a safe estimate. I think it's going to increase for this coming year. The expense for the part-time employee is going to be about $16,000 if we have them work 2 days a week, roughly 50 weeks per year. And the revenue that will be generated is just over $12,000. So there will be a part-time expense if we just do pistol permit fingerprints of $4,000 or less that we can cover in our budget with our part-time code.
And if we expand in further, like I said, with the fingerprinting, but I have heard of people that been waiting for fingerprints, and I think if you actually you put it online there and set up a schedule type thing, a scheduling type, you actually can. It might not even be sitting around all day long. It might be bing, 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 like we used to have for the DMV, and I know people. So really, Jim, sorry, Sheriff, I really appreciate you putting this forward. So
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Chairman.
Supervisor Bramer?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Sheriff. I think we've gone round and round. And I think it's worth giving it a try. So we'll see how it goes. And I think it will be a good service to our residents who need to go get their fingerprints for whatever reason. You will be offering it to more than just pistol permit people, right?
Not to start. In the
Oh,
beginning,
okay.
we're going to start with just pistol permits.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions for the sheriff? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to fill a patrol officer position. We're anticipating a vacancy occurring in May upon the retirement of a member, and we're not looking to increase the amount of employees, but we're looking to backfill a position. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor? Mr. Supervisor McGowan,
I'll second the motion.
seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Any questions? Supervisor Bramer?
Thanks, Chairman. Did he do his exit interview?
And I'd be getting, the officer who's retiring has asked that we not share the information, but he's ready to go. He's spent his entire lifetime serving the county residents, and it's time. He's leaving happily.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve? Oh, I already
vote.
voted for it, I'm sorry.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next item, discussion items. I asked the sheriff to come here today and in my time that I've spent on this committee as the chairperson, I meet with the sheriff regularly to talk about different aspects of his department. So I asked him today to come and share with us with a couple of policies, conduct policies that he has within his department. One policy is called the Standard of Professional Conduct that is relative to the sheriff's department. And the other one is a standard professional conduct of his corrections department. So Sheriff, could you just explain to us how those policies work?
Absolutely. So ethics, integrity, fair treatment, they're core principles of the Warren County Sheriff's Office. It's ingrained in all of our members from the time of hire through initial training, and it's reinforced on a daily basis with our supervision. Those policies are Warren County Sheriff's policies that outline the expectations for all of our members. Professional conduct, fair treatment of the public and fellow officers, as well as certain restrictions that come to supervision and outline restrictions that might prevent an employee from supervising an immediate family member or restrict them from engaging in certain conduct, whether they're on duty or off duty. Our members are expected to be above reproach at all times, whether they're working or not.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions for the sheriff on those? Okay, next item, I mentioned at the full board meeting that I was going to bring up to my committee today about Section 16 of our Warren County Ethics and Disclosure Law, specifically nepotism. I know that the Personnel Committee at some point in time in the very near future plans on taking a look at the Ethics and Disclosure Law and possibly refining it to meet our needs. So I'd like to ask my colleagues here on this board today that if we could ask the Personnel Committee to take a deeper look at Section 16 of our nepotism policy. Personally, I feel it's very restrictive. I think we have a civil service program that's in place that works effectively, that helps to eliminate any potential nepotism. And I've had an opportunity to look at, I want to say close to 59 different counties' policies. Within those counties, I found 9 policies that were directly related to nepotism. Most of the financial disclosure and ethics policies that they do have adopted do speak with it, but I don't believe that they have the restrictions that our particular policy in Section 16 has. Furthermore, I'd like to just bring to our attention that the last time our Warren County Ethics and Disclosure Policy in 2019, or excuse me, 2000, maybe it was year 2000, that it was initially revised. And then in the year 2014, there was an additional revision which included this nepotism section. I can't find anything in any of the minutes that relates to why that revision took place. So I'd like to again ask this committee members, I'm not looking for a formal resolution, but I'd like to see us move this, advance this to the Personnel Committee for a little bit more detailed discussion. If anybody has any questions, Supervisor McGowan?
I'd be willing to move that. I mean, hey, let's keep the discussion going. Yeah.
Okay, great. Supervisor Garrity?
Yeah, just what are you looking for, Jack? I mean, what, I mean,
Well, I'd like to look at the opportunities to when opportunities occur within our policing agency or corrections officers, those that take the civil service test be able to competitively compete for a hiring position within that within the civil service process.
within the county?
Yes, within.
Oh, okay. So can you just provide us with the summary of the different policies, maybe?
They're basically the policies that they have.
Well, you don't have to do it now, but.
Oh, yeah, sure.
For the Personnel Committee.
Yeah.
Can you bring us the summary of
Absolutely.
the different policies,
Yeah.
which have it, which don't?
I'd be more than happy to do that. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Chairman.
Any other questions? Supervisor Bramer?
Well, I'll say, as part of this committee and as personnel chair, I'm happy to bring it over to our committee and we'll take a look at it. I think that's great to have a summary because I did see some of the research that Jack was doing and it's like a stack several inches thick. So if he can summarize that for us, I think that will be helpful and make us hopefully more competitive and efficient. And I know Trish will take a look at it too. Trish Nenninger, thank you.
So if it be the willingness of this committee, I'd like to send that over to Personnel Committee for more detailed review.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I agree.
Great.
Good
Thank you.
idea.
Thank you so much. Okay, is there, Don Lehman, is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on Public Safety Committee?
Good morning, Supervisor Diamond. There is no public comment right now.
Okay, great. Okay, that completes our agenda review. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
Sure. Yeah, we're
Is there a second?
Yeah.
Susan
Approve
Schaefer?
adjournment?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. Thank you.